Have you guys ever heard of Dean Braxton? So I'm gonna put some kind of link to this dude's video, his interview that he had on Sid Roth. I ran into an old work colleague some years back, and he had found God, and which was really cool. And he sent me two resources, one of which I did not listen to, but the other one I did. One day, my wife and I were just kind of like, one of the names was Dean Braxton. And one of these days, me and my wife were just kind of like perusing the web, trying to find something encouraging to listen to. And we started off with one preacher, and it wasn't really doing it because we listened to them a lot. And started with another one, and they weren't really doing it. So I was like, oh, how about we listen to this one thing that this guy sent me? So I searched through my stuff, found his name, and looked up this video. I watched this video of this dude and had a moment when he said this. He said that in heaven, all the beings, he said some of the beings would gather around Jesus and he would give them instruction, and they would just bow their heads down and back away and go forward without saying anything to the contrary, and go do what he told them to do. And he said that their obedience was their worship. Up to that point, I thought I was a worship leader, and I thought that my sole purpose in life was to bring music to God. After Dean Braxton told about that thing that he saw in heaven, I just realized that everything that I knew about worship was just very narrow and short. It was very short-sighted. If you look in the Bible, the first 3 instances where God is being worshipped have nothing to do with music. Nothing. And everything to do with obedience and sacrifice. I just remember my world being rocked because I thought that I was a worshiper because I did music. When the truth is that the Bible actually says, Jesus himself says it, that true worshipers must worship him in spirit and truth. So it's not just where you sacrifice. It's not just the physical. It's not just physical sacrifices. God also says that obedience is better than sacrifice. So when Abraham goes to sacrifice Isaac, it's both the obedience and the sacrifice. And all I'm trying to say for all of you worshipers is consider your relationship with God and your obedience to his voice and obedience to his word as a higher purpose and a higher level, a higher priority than your songs. Your songs are worthless if your heart isn't pouring out to God. Your songs are worthless if your heart isn't surrendered to him. So let's do both. Let's give God a lifestyle of worship, a life of obedience, and a life of trying our best to adhere to his word, and heartfelt, authentic worship where when we open our mouths to sing, that we mean the words that we say, and that it matches, and that we live lives to match it.